First and foremost, discover oil before you move to the next phase or stage of oil exploitation. So there will be no oil exploitation without oil exploration. So until you discover what you have, there is no prosperity. The prophet died in poverty, yet there was oil in the house. The woman was in penury, yet she had oil in the house. It is not enough to be talented, but you need to discover that talent. Now, the second point is this. She said, I have nothing in the house except. I have no talent except. What does that mean? She placed no value on what she had. I have no skill except the ability to sing. I have no talent except. Now that same talent you are neglecting, you are not placing value on, has made so many people millionaires. Am I speaking to somebody here? You must place value on what you have. If you don't place value on what God has given you, can never be successful. And may I say this before I proceed? You cannot prosper above or beyond what God has given you. You cannot prosper outside what God has bestowed upon you. When you hear Michael Jordan, what comes into your mind? Oh, somebody talk to me. What comes into your mind? When you hear about Michael Jackson, what comes into your mind? When you hear about Dangote, what comes into your mind? When you hear about Reverend Yinka Yusuf, what comes into your mind? So you must use what you have in order to succeed in life. You can't succeed or prosper outside your divine endowments. Look at me. I was reading something this morning. Michael Jordan, after 10 years of active career, is still earning $80 million annually. He's rated among the highest paid athletes in the world. Why? He discovered his talent. He placed value on that talent. Now that takes us to the next point. The woman cried unto Elisha the prophet and said to him, my husband, your servant, the prophet, a man who feared the Lord, is dead, and the creditors have come to carry my children as bondmen. Elisha said, what do you have in the house? The woman said, a jar of oil. The man said, go, borrow vessels, not a few. What was Elisha teaching this woman? The principle of leverage. This is the best kept secret in business. Leverage will take you from obscurity to significance overnight. Now look at me. The woman had oil, but she had no vessel. She had oil, but she had no pot. So Elisha said, go, borrow vessels, not a few. What does that mean? Make use of other people's resources, other people's abilities, other people's time, other people's energy, other people's expertise. Look at me. Look at this church. Let me use a practical example here. This church was established in 1991, which is 20-something years ago. Now, The man God used, Reverend Dr. Yinka Yusuf, to establish this ministry, passed through hard times, fasted, prayed. He did 1,001 things to ensure that this ministry becomes a success. Now, most of us who joined a few years ago, what are we doing? We are leveraging on his labor. I won't fast the way he fasted. I won't pray the way he prayed. So I